pop it in. Wish for the best. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the final episode of the epic that has been reviving the Axenstein. I don't know why I do a German accent, it just seems more metally to me. So today, class, we will be looking at, we'll be looking at setup. Again, I say now, I'm not an expert in setting up. This is kind of the first time I've ever done a real proper setup, but I'm videoing it, so you can all point and laugh at me. But the experts in this area do know what they're talking about, and on the YouTubes you can find your own personal preference. But as I've been extolling the virtue of Devil & Sons guitars recently, because obviously they helped me with some advice at the beginning, and I've been following a lot of their setup guides and such about me bridge and things. They do an amazing full beginning to end explanation of what all the bits do for intonation, neck and such. I don't know how to put links on this thing. I'm old. I'm not tech savvy millennial. So I will put in the notes a website maybe, if I can just stutter away, to this here video. Yeah. Which covers everything, to be honest. It's going to cover it a lot better than this will. But if you want to see a middle-aged man flailing around making a ton of clusterfucks, you are welcome. Stick around, yeah? Yeah. Doesn't really take much to work out that I am not got an awful lot of space in this room, and it's full of my clothes, my possessions, and my son's toys and such when he stays over. So I have to have put my head, not this head, no, this head, on the floor, but it kind of fits and it's easy to reach all the buttons. So never mind my fat podge, quarantine living. There we go. Finishing up on my 2 weeks off of work, as in off work, and on call, as it were. And I've done nothing but eat crap and do no exercise, which for me is actually quite bad. Right. What we need to do today is start off with doing various different things. First things we're doing need to be plugged in so I can hear the amp. And unfortunately, you can't. So I will be laying over mood music for you. Basically, what we need to do is work out if the pickups are loud enough. So, generally speaking, if you've got the pickups a long way from the strings, they're trying to harder to hear what's going on. Can't hear you, Sonny. What you say there, Sonny? But if you move it nearer, obviously there's less air for the vibration to go through before it gets to it, so it's kind of, it can go no IQ, loud and clear. So whichever, if you have a side closer to the strings than the other, that side will be picking up more vibration. So if you had like the bass notes really flat to the body and the top of the pickup really near the high strings, then it would be probably more punchy for a solo, because you're cranking it up for the chuggy bits, and then when you went to a solo, that kind of would punch through more because it's nearer the strings. So you kind of want that to happen when you've got heavy music going on. You want something to pop through. So I've got mine set up a little bit like that, accidentally, as it happens. Also, the difference between your bridge pickup and your neck pickup is, again, kind of on purpose, because generally speaking, neck pickups are used for solos, so they're nearer the top. So when you go to from the bridge, chunking it out, go into a solo, click it onto the neck pickup, which is then steps up in volume slightly, so you don't have to fiddle around with settings on your pedals and such. Then you kind of punch out with the rest of the band going, I'm at the front, everyone look at me, I'm important, I'm nearly as important as a singer. No one's as important as a singer, just ask the singer. So anywho, what we need to do is basically play to find out whether, for each pickup, we need to play the bottom E and then the top E to see which one sounds louder. Now, as it happens on here, it's already kind of set up, so I don't have to go through it that much, but I've got the set up a little bit, you can see it. Yep. So this side, the bass side, is lower a bit than the actual treble side, and the neck pickup is closer to the strings than the bass the bridge pickup. So that means that when I use bridge pickup with top strings mostly for rhythms, and if I'm doing any kind of melody lines in there, then the fact it's lower, it's the higher strings, as it were, the lower part of the actual bridge is nearer, then that means it kind of jumps out a bit of the actual rhythm line. And when I go into a solo, screeching guitar solos, then I just have to click the position to this bridge here, which will then pump me out in front of everyone, so I get to be in the spotlight and everyone looks at me for those middle eights. So I can just like wail out there, doing some horns. Yeah, baby. That kind of thing. No one actually licks a neck, by the way. They just pretend to, because I know where my neck's been. That one and that one. No one wants to lick it. So anyway, that's setting up this part. Sorted. Done. And for the next step, I have tuned to B, because very low. And basically, I don't want them to be too tight. Tight like a tiger. I don't want to be too tight when I'm actually moving the actual saddles. Because, so I've got, put my tuner on. B, yes, we B. So if I do the 12th fret, this one here, you see a little double dots. Do the 12th fret, I should also be showing B. So if I just show you that for a second. So we can see, if I play, I'm going to B. Nice bit, tiny bit sharp in fact. If I play the 12th fret, it's sharper already. Probably means I need to move the saddle a tiny bit forward. That's it. So the 12th fret, there we go. A little bit of fettling. Boom shakalakas. Gone through, tightened and loosened the saddles. In here, the little, go to them this way. Maybe we need it that way, I don't know. They say if you push the actual adjusters to the back, you kind of foul this. So it's kind of easier, I guess, to go that way. I've gone through. Luckily, weirdly, I just accidentally installed them more or less Bangkok on. So that is that intonation aspect done. Now we're going to look at the neck. Make sure that's the fretting's okay. Haven't actually had any buzzing or anything, to be fair. Highest notes. no buzzing. That's just my bad playing. But let's have a look anyway. It's fun, isn't it? What else are we going to be doing? So I need to be putting a capo, which I had to buy because being a metal guitarist, I've never owned a capo. Why do I own one in for? So I'm going to pull one off Tintabibs and I'm going to put one across there. So the principle is place capo across the first fret and then hold down the 13th fret and check the space betwixt the string and the neck to make sure the strings aren't too hitting it and making sure the strings aren't too far away. So kind of obviously if the neck truss rod bends either way depending on which way you're turning it. If it's too close, you can bend it and it kind of burns it away. If it's too far, you can bend it back. The guys from the Devil and Sons Guitars explains it and does a drawing that's pretty banging. So like banging. It's a good drawing. It's not banging. One last little whittle. This much. How much metal? This much metal. In fact, this much. Twice as much metal. My amp. Heavy capo. I like to think it looks a bit like a raven. What'd you say, Mr. Raven? Do you look like a raven? Yeah, I look like a raven. Absolutely, you look like a raven. Either way, kind of funky little thing, like the spring. Kind of little thing there. Pinches your finger. So I'm going to pop it on the first fret. I'm going to pop it on. Let's play some folk music. Hey diddly hey ho. Okay, so the idea apparently, capo the first fret. Sure it's nice and tight. Finger on the 13th. Then you're meant to get a feeler gauge and pop it over the 6th fret here, and then just see if there's any clearance at all. And if there's not, you take the screws out the end, plate, pop an Allen key in there, and turn it which way you want it. But I haven't got my Allen keys on me. Guess where they are? Yeah. However, as a mechanic, I did develop a bit of an eye for this kind of thing, and they say it's 0.01, 0.015, which is tiny. Literally tiny. So I used to basically get a feel of the tops of valves. You can get like real small. So I'm thinking if I tap it, I can hear just the tiniest tap. You can sort of see tiniest clearance. So I'd say that's right. So we're going to do this all the way across. 13th fret. Thing is, you want the strings near the bottom to be nearer the frets, so you can play faster. And the ones in the top to be further away. Apparently it's 2mm, they reckon. If you look at your guitar, that should be 2mm away on the bass notes, and I think 1.5 away from the bottom ones. You get like a square ruler sort of thing, pops in, it's got the marks on it. And to be fair, I think mine are. They are pretty much like that. They're kind of 2mm, probably in the bass notes, a bit higher than. You could just do in a little screws in your bridge to affect them. Yeah, so that is, I think, looking at it, setup is all done. I don't need to fiddle ass around with anything else. It's tuning. So last thing I've done is I've done a little commemorative addition to the paintwork. I did find out who did the paint initially. It was Phil. Phil did it there. Cheers, Phil. Loved the seagulls. They were... See this one? There's a little seagull. What? Why? Waves, maybe? I don't know. What were you thinking, Phil? It was the 90s. He probably wasn't. He was probably smacked out of his face on goofballs. Who knows? Anyway, my edition. I have popped in there. It is the Axenstein COVID-19 speckle. Well, back it figured I was going to try and think about like a because you know, Vikings and such named their, and every warrior back in the day named their sword or their axe Brain Biter, Spine Clefter, Dave. Many different names for many different swords. Excalibur, if you want to give it like a posh one. So I figured, well, mine deserves a little one too. What? Just get this fella up here. A little cuddly Viking. He'd have appreciated it. So, it's all down, son. Embarrassing yourself. I thought I'd give it a name, and my motorcycle's got a name. It's basically my weapon of choice. It's my tool. And no, easy. So my bike's called the Thunder Bastard because it's very noisy, and it can sometimes be a bit of a bastard. This motorcycle. This isn't a motorcycle. Do you think it's a motorcycle? No, he doesn't think it's a motorcycle either. He's going back. Go back up there. See ya. Bye. So anyway, I figured I'd give it a name. And I was trying to think of cool names to give it, lots of black metal-y ones. Yeah. But I figured, no, I've been calling it Axenstein all the time. It kind of looks Axenstein-y. Let's face it, it's not exactly a pretty guitar. I'm not exactly a pretty person, so the Axenstein, sure it is. And I popped the COVID-19 bit on there. Just so when I look back in the future, I can go like, oh yeah, that was shit, wasn't it? And try and prize some kind of meaning out of life when I tell people when I'm old and go, when I was during the COVID crisis, I beat an old guitar into shape. Very interesting. And everyone will be like, wow, Grandad, please tell us more war stories. And I'll be like, no, fuck off out my garden. So yeah, so that's added that to it. Sorry, Phil covered up some more seagulls. Yeah, I think this is where I go into a section where I tell you about all my other interesting stickers and a little bit of background, just in case you want to know. Obligatory pentagram. Well done, Dinah, for my son's preschool over a Wildheart sticker. Unheard brought back from America by a friend, not half. Sepultura from a Kerrang magazine. Mutant and a Skull from a bike magazine. Bikers for life because I'm a biker. Zombie sticker because you can't beat a zombie sticker. An A1 from an A1 magazine. Clear Dark Ghost my son put on there. 5Ks from Kerrang magazine. Sepultura sticker from Kerrang magazine. An Anarchy one from somewhere. Melt up your ass slogan from Metallica many moons ago. Now bringing us up to the 21st century. The name written in a 1980s style. Gotta love a bit of irony. So, my friends, we appear to have reached the end of the Axenstein story, I guess. It's time to look back, have a little Jerry Springer moment, think about what we've overcome, things we've sworn at, things that have made our fingers hurt, things that have made us wish we hadn't started in the first place. But then there's other things that made us think, yeah baby, this has worked well, I like it, I might do another. So I guess this is where I recap. So what have we learned together as a mutual bearing of minds, because there's only two of us watch this. Facts about guitars is just kind of weird, because going over years of actually just playing them, just being my weapon of choice to cart around and make hideously loud noises with. Never really knew much about them as such. I knew they had strings, you hit them with a pick and you make them go boing, boing. Like Zebedee. The bridges, the different types of bridge there are, also I was aware they existed, but looking into them, the fact that some guitars are flat tops and other guitars are rounded tops to make them slightly different tones to them. The fact that scale lengths differ and how that affects the strings. The fact that the bridge that I have just couldn't bear its own name. It had to go with the whole Floyd Rose thing. So yeah, so it's kind of stuff we learned about that. I mean, it's like the I was unaware of that initially. I always wondered why no one ever had the same bridge as me. I just figured I was special. So yeah, how scale length applies to, you know, tone on a guitar. If you go heavy, longer is good. We've learned to clean a guitar properly. Something I've never really specialised in before. But let's face it, you actually saw me actually clean a guitar. It's all up, baby. Setup. We have studied tinterwebs and we have found out how to set the guitars up. How to set the intonation, what intonation is, scale length, saddles, all this good stuff. Guess we need to look at what I would do differently. Everything in my life. I think I would have, the wooden block I put in, it's held, it's done a trick. Going back, I probably would have chosen, if I'd have had longer and DIY shops have been open, I would have chosen a hardwood maybe. Spent longer just getting it perfectly fitted in there, glued into place, because it came out when I whacked the top of it and it got put out. Put it back in again, so I think I would have, and I think actually the drill bit went off because the hard wood of the guitar versus the light wood of what I put in there, and when the drill bit went in, it was on the right on the edge, and I think it just, part of least resistance, I think it went for the softer wood, which put the actual measurements off a bit, made the front one a bit tight and the back one kind of just a bit out. I think I made it on a P for it. I would definitely use a template next time for drilling to make sure all the holes are straight. All I have to say, I think it's the wood that might have lent towards that. My measuring was on, it just walked out of it. Visually, since I didn't actually strip it down, clean it off, start again, because I stuck with the original more punky look to it, I probably would have left the gaff tape on that I took off, the one I used to put my pickups in at the bottom. I said before it was at the top, it wasn't, it was at the bottom. And I used to put picks in there. It would have worked fine, and to be fair, it would have been nice to have left it on there, because there's just like a part, a kind of a bit of history, kind of. There is a word I'm thinking of, but it's just escaping me. The overall things I'm actually quite proud of on it are it works. I had to get a guitar that's broken. I ended up with a guitar that works. I put the bridge on it. I did it so it actually works, right? It's in line, strings don't fall off the edge, it still makes a noise, it goes death metal. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised at that. Probably shouldn't be, but my self-esteem's pretty shit. So I was quite surprised by that. It kind of proves also, spitting out hair, also proves that you're never really too old to learn. I now know things in my headspace that I didn't carry around before. Whether it's pushed stuff out the other side, I might have forgotten how to drive, I don't know. Soon find out with me on Monday. But yeah, it's interesting. It's been an interesting journey learning different things, and I want to carry on that. I want to carry on learning stuff and improve myself as a person and as a guitarist, damn it. And also, I kind of look at the guitar, it is kind of cool. The bridge, the Tune-o-matic I popped on there actually looks like it should be there. I know they technically do come out with a Tune-o-matic anyway, but I put the little bit of plastic on there. The glue's come around the edge a little bit. It did crack. Probably going back to what I've done differently, probably would have spent more time on that. I rushed that a little bit, but yeah, it sits on there. It looks actually pretty cool. I quite like it. And to be honest, I've quite enjoyed, and what I've learned is editing these video things. Quite enjoyed the process of that as well, and learning about how to do that, and to do interesting cuts like this, boom, and that, boom, and popping things up and going ka-chow, like that. Yeah, and I can look at myself without wanting to be sick, which is unusual because I'm not a big fan of this ever. So yeah, it's been fun. Whether I come back and do some more, don't know what that's going to be, but thank you for following me on this if you have actually done so. If not, fuck off, don't care. And yeah, see you around, groovers. Look after yourselves in these crazy times, and see you on the other side of the great COVID-19 war. Rock out, yeah.